So how do we, I guess this is quite a big question, how do we start creating more conversations within our communities to help moms and even dads to have open and honest discussions about periods and menstruation and period products?
I think it starts at home. And it also starts with the mindset.
Okay.
Because in some communities, it is taboo to speak about those things.
Absolutely.
But I think it's high time that we realize that these things need to be spoken about. We need to come out in the open and speak about it because these things are there.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Unlocking Hope podcast. Today we are going to be chatting about something that I've had quite a few queries on from moms in my community, and we're going to be talking about periods and menstruation in the extra needs space. Our guest today is Rashida. I'll let her introduce herself in a minute. And she is an exceptional woman who helps quite a few of the young girls at Kanisa during their period, helping educate them, helping them with hygiene, and just being an all-round rock star. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. And as you've heard, I am Rashida. And I've been working at Kanisa for 4 years now, and it's been the most memorable journey that I have experienced in my life. And I like being there, and I'm a junior educator working with different classes of different age groups and different extra needs. And I just love being there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking time out. I know it's a very busy period for you. I know you're going on prac soon. Why don't we dive right in? How did you get involved with the young girls and helping with hygiene and menstruation?
Well, it happened when I started working with the kids in an older class, the senior class. And to be honest, I didn't know anything about it. You know, I didn't expect that to happen in that environment. But when I started helping and assisting the kids, I saw that there's a lot to learn, and I did learn, and amazingly so, it's one of my best things to do. I know for some people it might be a horrible job, if I might put it that way.
Of course.
But for me, it's the most pleasurable part of the job. I feel like if no one wants to do it, who else can? And I'm there to assist them because they don't know. They really don't know what's happening to them. Yeah. And you have to be their guide. You have to be their help. You have to be their comfort because they don't understand what's happening to their bodies.
Yeah. So I know that a lot of inroads have been made recently around menstruation, around period care, about period products in kind of the mainstream environment. It's a little bit more common to talk about these things. But what I found in our community, the extra needs community, that we've got a way to go. Yeah. How do you provide hope to moms and dads when they are like, what do I do? How do I do this?
Actually, we try to communicate, or actually keep an open communication path with the moms or the parents or guardians, whoever is taking care of the children, by providing social stories for the kids. We make sure that those social stories are straightforward and simple, easy for the kids to understand. Those social stories, we have one for the school and one for at home, so that the child is able to get the same communication both at home and at school. And we go through that social story with the child, and step by step, making sure that they understand what they're doing or what we are trying to help them do and understand. The social story can be in the form of communication board, or they can use their iPads for those that use iPads.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What kind of topics do you cover in the social story? Is it just the physical changes that are happening in a young girl's body in terms of the period, or is it also like emotional as well?
It is both, actually, the physical change and the emotional side, because you'll have those combined. I can give an example that one child, they would cry and not know what's happening. So you have to understand what's going through their minds. Well, we might not fully understand, but try to understand what is happening to them. And then you sit down with them, show them the social story, go page by page. And then when you're in the bathroom with them, it's also important to actually communicate with them the steps on what to do when this happens, like the changing of the pad, how you are supposed to place the pad. And you don't have to be serious about this thing. You have to be creative and fun,
Yeah, of course.
like when you are covering a pad, let's roll it up like a sausage, Make sure the child is comfortable about it. And when you are with the child, you can also talk about those experiences, what you went through, what you go through, so that they understand that it doesn't happen to them only, but it can also happen to you.
Oh, I love that. So it's kind of making them feel like they're not alone.
Yes.
And that it kind of, we know it happens to all women. So you kind of touched on it. When you are in the bathroom with the girls at school, what steps are you taking? So to frame it, if we are going to educate maybe a mum who doesn't have access to a special needs school, what steps can she take at home when she takes her teenage daughter to the bathroom and sees that she started her period?
Okay. Even before they go to the bathroom, because sometimes it's difficult to see or to tell, especially if it's the first time. We have others that you'll see the mood swings a week before.
Yes.
And also mood swings again a week after.
Okay.
So the before is very important. You see the mood swings, you see some behavioral issues. The moms need to know the cycles. They need, what can help them is like have an app to track the cycles and know when the days are nearby. We normally communicate, the moms actually speak to the teachers and say, I think she's about to get a period.
Okay.
So
they are telltale signs.
So then we will then look out for the signs and like, okay, that's okay. That's okay. We keep on checking. Is your tummy hurting? If you hear the child say, oh, my tummy is sore, then you go to the bathroom, you check. There are some that cannot communicate verbally. You'll maybe hear them cry.
Oh.
When you go to the bathroom, check again.
Okay.
And there are some, there was one who managed to hide it very well until one day we discovered that she was on her period, and then we had to talk to her. She was kind of embarrassed about it, and we had to talk to her to tell her that it's okay, these things happen. I remember I had to sit down and tell her that it also happens to me. She was shocked. In the midst of the tears, she was, really? So when they go to the bathroom, first step is visit, obviously. Now we need to change.
Yeah.
When you see that it is red, you change, roll it up.
Like a sausage.
Like a sausage. You got that. You got that one. Roll it like a sausage. And now we don't want anyone to see our mess. Now we need to cover it. Take a tissue, roll it up, and cover it with a tissue. Now there are two bins in the bathroom.
Okay.
The sanitary bin and the rubbish bin.
Okay.
So they need to know, you need to tell them which bin to use.
Makes sense.
And then they throw it there. Then we need to clean up that we have a jug, pour water.
Okay, over herself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For those that are not able to help themselves, you help them
Okay.
with the hand over hand,
Okay.
like you're modeling,
Yes.
so
Okay.
that they have an idea that this is what's supposed to be done.
Yes.
After that, then we wet wipes. They wipe themselves. For those that can't, you also help.
Okay.
And then we dry, and then we need to put the clean pad. They need to also peel out the first piece of paper,
That back.
the back
Yeah.
one, yes.
Yeah.
You need to facilitate that one
Okay.
for those that can't. And then now you need to help them hold the pad and place it on their undergarment.
Yes.
They will do that and then tell them, now we need to peel on the sides, let's clip our wings.
Okay.
Then they'll clip those wings,
Yeah.
and then we are done. We can
Okay.
pull up, wash your hands, we are done.
Okay.
If your tummy is sore, you tell me, because we have those heat pads to help them ease the pains.
Yes.
Because sometimes they can't tell you that it is sore.
Okay.
You'll see some will be crying, as I said.
Yes.
And then you put that heat pad
Okay.
on the tummy.
So the process is naturally intuitive, and I guess it will vary from young girl to young girl.
True.
How her fine motor skills are to be able to place the pad or to peel the stickers off at the back. Some of the mums I've spoken to have said their daughters call them diapers or nappies. What do you tend to call them when you are helping facilitate her in the bathroom?
We call them pads because I believe like in calling a spade and not a son of a shovel, so that they can differentiate between a nappy and a pad.
Okay.
Because you have some that even wear nappies,
Yes.
that are on their periods. So
Okay.
they need to differentiate that this is a pad and this is a nappy. There's a time for me to wear a nappy. There's a time for me to wear a pad. So you rather start by actually educating them and naming the items with their specific names.
Yes, and I've seen a lot of information and videos out there about ensuring that we call our body parts by their actual names and not pet names. So a vagina, a penis, a pad, a tampon, all using the right names.
Quite true.
Okay, perfect. So you brought it up. So we may have some viewers or some community members who have children or young girls who are in nappies all the time for whatever reason. What do you do then? Do you just use the nappy, or do you supplement with something else during her period if she's in nappies full time?
Okay. When they are on nappies full time, you place the pad on the nappy. They still wear the nappy for extra protection.
Okay.
We've done that. We do that. So they can still do that.
Okay, thank you. That's super helpful. And we've mentioned social stories. Are there other ways or means that mums and dads can get information as they kind of broach this? Because I mean, just from having a neurotypical daughter, I did my research on how to kind of broach the subject with her. We did a little period pack for her, so there was a couple of pads, some panado in there, some clean panties if she needed them. But for mums of children with extra needs, where do they go for information?
Okay. Some can get information from their children's specialists. Those can be quite helpful so that they're able to track their cycles. And also maybe they can be given information on what medication they can be given.
Oh, yes,
there are
that's
some
important.
actually who manage the cycles using contraceptives. So they are advised by their specialist, the children's specialist rather, to manage the periods so that they actually know that on this very day, my child is having a period.
Yeah.
And some parents can even get information, ask information from our school, from the teachers, from the therapists. They're very quite helpful.
Yeah.
We can always refer them to people that know. People that are nearby that can actually assist them in getting that kind of information.
Amazing. And I think for me, like I said at the beginning of our chat, we've come so far with this idea that menstruation or having a period is not, it's not dirty, it's not shameful, it's not something to hide. And it's so exciting that we are able to have discussions like this, to bring almost a celebration. You know, as a special needs mum myself, we are always looking for milestones. And we kind of train for it, you know, when is my baby going to sit? When is my baby going to crawl? Or when are they going to talk? And actually having this moment is actually a celebration of our young girl turning into a woman. And it's such a beautiful thing that we can sit here today and talk about it.
Yes.
So how do we, I guess this is quite a big question. How do we start creating more conversations within our communities to help moms and even dads to have open and honest discussions about periods and menstruation and period products?
I think it starts at home. And it also starts with the mindset.
Okay.
Because in some communities, it is taboo to speak about these things.
Absolutely.
But I think it's high time that we realize that these things need to be spoken about. We need to come out in the open and speak about it because these things are there. School communities are there to help you. I'm talking about Kanisa because I'm there. And when we teach the children, we tell them, as you said, body parts, we label them, the vagina, the penis.
Yeah.
We do not beat about the bush.
Yeah.
Because if we don't educate the children in that manner, someone is going to teach them. But how do you know that that person is going to teach them in the correct way for a useful purpose? You know? So we rather teach the children in the correct manner. And also, I feel like parents at school should have, you know, you should build a community whereby let's have some tea, sit and chat about those things.
Yeah.
You have the fathers, you have the mothers. Let's have these questions.
that.
Let's have these answers. We can even invite someone to come and speak about those topics.
Yeah.
If we ourselves do not want to start those conversations.
It's nothing to be embarrassed about or to keep in the dark. It's just something that we have to talk about in the open.
True.
And I see it over my lifetime, how it's become more, I know you say in some communities it's still taboo, and I think we've got a long way to go, but we have come a long way as well. Are there particular products that you prefer to use with the girls at Kanisa? Maybe they are longer lasting or better absorbing. Are there particular products that you find work better than others?
Okay. I've actually preferred the Cortex products.
Okay.
They are actually quite better when it comes to absorption. You have those ones that are written teens.
Yes.
They're very suitable and
Okay.
convenient. However, it depends on the moms. Moms also have their preferences.
Sure.
Considering the financial situations or status.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We are open for them to use anything that they feel that is efficient for them.
Okay.
And we are also there to help them. And we always keep extras at school.
Oh, you guys are amazing. How do you combat, if it happens, skin irritation? I know that can be something that happens during a young girl's period. She might have some skin irritation or a reaction to a product, a pad that she uses. Is there ointment or cream or anything that you apply on skin irritation?
Fortunately, it has never happened at Kanisa.
That's good news.
It has never happened at Kanisa.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I would advise or recommend any creams because it has never happened.
Okay.
We make sure that we check our girls every hour when they are on their periods.
Okay.
We check them because we don't want... I have one girl who knows We'll say, okay, we're going to clean. You need to tell me, by the way, why are we doing this? Oh, so that we don't get blisters.
Oh, so she knows already.
Yes.
That's lovely.
So, yeah, we have never had that incident.
Okay.
of
What is the
irritations.
most common question you get from moms around this time in a young girl's life?
How is it?
And what's your answer?
Oh, it was okay. Today it was a heavy flow.
Okay.
And today it was a light one. And today we changed so many times.
Okay.
And yeah. And one mom said, why do you say it with a happy face? I'm like, it's my happiest moment. Do you know why, Sarah?
Tell me.
It's because this is the time where I get to bond with the children. They are actually trusting me because I am witnessing them in their most vulnerable and embarrassing for them situation. And I'm there to say, it's okay. You don't need to feel embarrassed. I'm your safe space. And that's when they open up and speak about how they are feeling at that moment. So I really find joy in doing this.
That is an incredible and beautiful and sacred thing to say. And that's why I'm so glad to have you on the podcast with me today.
Thank you, Sarah.
Do you often talk to the young boys about periods at school and what to expect or what they might see?
We've touched on the topic of growth, whereby the children have different developmental stages, and how when they grow up, the girls have breasts, the girls, obviously, they have the vagina, but we have not touched deeply on the period side.
Okay.
But however, we have mentioned to the girls, because I normally talk to the girls, that when they are on their periods, it's our secret. The boys don't need to know,
Okay.
you know? So one of the girls would come into class, first thing, guess what, Teacher Rashida, I'm on my periods. You know? So you're like, no, it's a secret. And then I always have to tell her that it's our little secret. When we're going to change, you say, Teacher Rashida, secret. And then I will know that it's
Okay.
time to go and change.
Okay.
But there's one also who will when she's coming with extra pads, she will call me on the side. No, come. And then the boys are curious. Why
wanna know.
is she calling Teacher Rashida aside? We need to know. And she said, no, it's a secret. It's a secret. So there is something that has been learned there.
Okay.
So we try to educate the girls that there are some things that you can say, that you can just blurt out. But when it comes to this, what happens to your body is not for everyone. You tell the people that you trust, that is your teacher. If it's at school, it's your teacher. At home, your mom or your granny or aunt, whoever is taking care of you at that moment.
And I think that feeds into a bigger desire of keeping our children safe. When we think about things like gender-based violence or child abuse, it is more likely to happen to a child in our community who doesn't necessarily know how to defend themselves or what a good personal boundary is. So I understand why we kind of go there in that space, because we do have to teach our children that there are people that you can trust and there are people that you can't trust. I know with Ollie, one of our biggest things right now is to stop him from hugging strangers, which sounds like such a silly thing, but actually you need to teach him what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So it's, a similar vibe. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with me. You've answered all the questions that I've had asked of me, of mums at the parking lot at school and online. And you are an absolute rock star. And I'm so very grateful for you. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. And thank you.
We are definitely going to have to get you back on the podcast at some point.
I'll be happy to.
So thank you so much for coming on, Rashida. Guys, just a reminder, this is just about creating a community and a space for us to learn from each other, to bring stories to life. And if you've heard anything today that makes you question your approach, then I'd really encourage you to reach out either to your teacher at school, your therapist, your doctor, if you have any kind of medical questions, just to find out the best way to approach menstruation and periods. And if you want to find out more about what Kanisa is doing in their community, we'll have their handles on the screen below. And yeah, we would love it if you subscribed and joined us more on the journey. We've got some more exciting things to come. So thank you for staying with us. There is no greater disability in society than the inability to see a person as more